Hello. Hello. It's the Happy Goddess. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing? And I'm just gonna do this is gonna be a very really short one on Jalen Griffin's situation. Jalen Griffin's situation could have so been avoided simply by informing the neighbors, like when it comes to like these offenders. I believe you're supposed to let the neighborhood know that you're there, especially when there's kids present. I'm not sure if kids can be in the same neighborhood as them or what, but I think if everybody was handed a leaflet, informing them that there would be several offenders living in their neighborhood, I guarantee you, Jalen Griffin's mother might not have let her child walk around at 12 years old to go to the store. I think that, people would have been more aware of who and what is going in and out of that house. I think that, people would have protest because they have children in the neighborhood that, they cannot have an offender in their neighborhood. And I think that, the police would have been aware, things would have been handled a little differently if certain things were done, but they weren't done. Now, as far as Jalen's situation, let me play this. And then I'm gonna tell you, what I think.
News. And we do begin tonight with breaking news and a heartbreaking end to the search for a missing boy in Buffalo.
Police announcing today they have recovered the body of Jaylen Griffin just a week before what would have been his 16th birthday. Griffin went missing in August of 2020 at the age of 12. The last thing he told his family, we're told, was that he was on the way to a store on Broadway. Now his body turning up miles away in a South Buffalo home.
7 News reporter Kristen Moran outside Buffalo Police headquarters tonight with more on the late breaking details. Kristen.
Well, Jeff, we heard from officials just about an hour ago who say this is not the result they wanted. Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramalia says after Jaylen Griffin went missing in 2020.
One, two, and three. Skip.
They followed up on every tip, leaving no stone unturned. But unfortunately, that search for Jaylen ended this past Friday when his body was found in a home on Sheffield Avenue in South Buffalo. That's about 5 miles south from Warren Avenue, where Jaylen was last seen 3.5 years ago. Gramalia says Jaylen was found at a multi-unit home. He says the person who discovered his body had a reason to be inside. Gramalia says it was apparent his body was there for a significant amount of time.
This is nothing short of a tragedy for a 12-year-old boy to go missing, and for it to end this way. This is an absolute tragedy. It's very sad. It's very hard to get through this press conference, but we have work to do, and we're going to.
My thing is, okay, when you have a 12-year-old boy or you have a 12-year-old girl or you have girls missing, the first thing I think about is there any offenders in the neighborhood? Do we have any people in the neighborhood that have a history or have recently moved in the neighborhood that had a history of any inappropriate actions with kids? I would go door to door in the vicinity. You do 5 block, 5 block, 5 block, 5 block, and you go door to door to the homes. Have you seen this boy? Have you seen this boy? Have you seen this boy? Putting up things Okay. I don't know how many miles away this boy was found from there. How did he get there? Did he meet this young? Was Jaylen met at the store by somebody? So was Jalen? I feel like Jalen. Okay, I'm asking. Off camera. I'm asking questions. Um. So because Jalen, it's like so Jalen met this man at the store. So Jalen met this man at the store and walked home with him. Okay, so Jalen allegedly, I'm just gonna say allegedly, Jalen walked home. Jalen walked from the store with the person he met at the store. So if that means the person in the store, that means people in the store might have seen this person. That means somebody in that store, if they had cameras, but who I don't know if who keeps I don't know if they, chances are that probably been erased by now. But if he met this, like, could think about it. Let's really think about it. Jalen Griffin was on the way to the store, right? How would he have met the person that unalived him? How would he end up at that house? Because that house is not somewhere he'd walk to get home, right? So that means he had to met that man at that store. So he met that man at the store. They start talking, and it's a promise of Xbox games because I don't know if Jalen Griffin had an Xbox or a PlayStation or even a Nintendo, but it's more coming towards Xbox. So I don't know if Jalen Griffin owned an Xbox, but a promise of Xbox games or PlayStation games or some type of games, but it's leaning towards Xbox games. So I don't know if Jalen had a Xbox thing, but this was a promise of Xbox games or some type of video games. And that was the key. I don't know if Jaden was really into hardcore, into video games. He might have been. And the promise of video games got him to lower his guard and got him to walk with this man to that house. Now, that's how he got that little boy to that house. Now, none of the tenants in the house, none of them tenants saw that boy going to that house, though. No neighbors, no nothing. I don't think anybody saw. But the only one that only the only people that would have seen the killer and Jalen is at that store, that little convenience, if that store, that man is on that camera. But I don't know if that camera is, that if they, I don't know if the store had a camera. If the store had a camera, then that man is on that camera with that boy. hmm But I don't know if they started talking initially inside the store or outside the store. This man is smart, a little bit smart. Okay, so the promise of video games got that boy to go to that house, and he was unalive the same day he went to that house. The same day that boy was lured to that house with the promise of video games, Xbox games, and stuff, is the same day that boy was killed. hmm And that boy put up. That boy fought. That little boy fought for his life. He did. He did fight for his life. He did try. He didn't just, he tried to fight for his life. And it's sad because time has passed. I don't know about the DNA evidence that could be found underneath fingernails because it's been 4 years. When the body decomposed, that could like hide kind of end of evidence. There should be some type of DNA evidence that could be extracted, hopefully, off of Jalen's body. Something. But this man is around 5'7", no taller than 5'7". So you're looking for somebody between 5'7" and under, in his 50s, registered offender. And recently, I'm not sure, I'm going to ask. Oh, you see how heavy my thing is? Okay. This man could have been somebody who served time as well. So not only an offender, but somebody who could have served time. Okay? So that's another piece. Was Jalen Killer somebody who served time, prison time? Does he have a criminal record? Was he also registered with Spectrum? So this man fit under, like he's 5'7" under, like probably 5'7" under than 5'7" or under, fit around 50 something years old at this point. Is an offender. Did go through Spectrum to get that housing. Was only there for days before deciding before taking Jalen Griffin's life. And once he took Jalen Griffin's life, he left. Okay? So them other tenants that were there 4 years ago, you have to find the tenants that were there 4 years ago. Some of who went through Spectrum. And the ones who went through Spectrum and was around that, you have to this is really look through the timetable. You're gonna have to look through when Jalen went missing and then pinpoint who were living there at that time when Jalen went missing. Okay? You have to look at who were the tenants when Jalen went missing. Those tenants that were there in that month, in those months of when Jalen first went missing, before Jalen went missing, and a little bit after, they are aware who was living there. They are aware of who that man was who was living there, and will be able to give you a description of that man who was living there. He was there only for days before he left. Okay, so he got there. He was only there for a few days, and happened upon Jalen when he was at the store to pick up some cigarettes, maybe, or some snacks or stuff like that, and ran into that boy. This is somebody who has a history. He's an offender. He is a person that served prison time. This is a person that served prison time in his 50s, 5'7" under, black. Okay, the tenants were very much aware that that Jalen's body was up there. In the 2 years I've seen, in the 2 years with these tenants, they were very aware because each one told the other about don't go up in that attic. So the ones that were living there when it happened, they went up there and they saw, and they didn't say nothing because they didn't want to lose their residence. They didn't want the police involved. They didn't want to lose their residence, so they didn't say nothing, and they just continued about their lives. Put some potpourri, some candles and stuff, and kept going about their lives. And then when it was time for them to move out, they moved out. That's what happened. That's how it went down. Hmm. So this that is all I can say on that. But honestly, this could have been avoided by letting these neighbors know who was living in their neighborhood. Do you hear me? All this could have been avoided by letting people know who is in the neighborhood. Send out a leaflet to all the neighbors, and the neighbors would have got them people right about out that neighborhood. So the old owner should be able to help y'all. The old owner and Spectrum and even prison records should be able to help you determine who was released recently, who got released, who got released during that time. Okay, who got released during that time? Who registered for that house at that time? So y'all should be able to narrow this down. It ain't gonna be too hard for y'all to narrow down. Okay, Spectrum, you show us our records from 4 years ago. People who were living there at the time, around these months, these weeks of Jaylen's passing. Who lived there and then immediately had to leave? Who lived there for days and moved and hurried up and moved to flip out? This man was there for only a few days and he moved out right after he took Jaylen's life. He bounced. The tenants that were living there went up there. They looked, they saw because they smelled something after a few days or whatever amount of time they started to smell something. They went up there, saw it, didn't say nothing, closed the door, kept it moving, and they just continued to live there. And as they moved out, they told the other person, "Don't go upstairs. There's a body up there." And after 2 years passed, they stopped. It had been enough time passed that they stopped telling. Oh yeah, there's a body, and they only became aware after maintenance. This house, let's just keep in mind, this house been sold to another person, and you mean to tell me y'all didn't do no inspection to go up there and look and check and see everything going on? What about inspections? Like with registered sex offenders and mental health patients and all this type of stuff? Were y'all not going in this house to check and make sure everything was on the up and up? Nobody was going there to check on these people. So it's a lot of there's a lot of T's and a lot of I's and a lot of things that were not dotted. Okay, a lot of things just fell through the cracks because it's a poor neighborhood. So they just let they just you know what I'm saying. They let things slip through the cracks. Now let it be a high class area, a upper middle class area. I guarantee you that they would be aware that these offenders are about to move in their neighborhood, or these people with mental health issues, this, that, and the other, is about to move in their neighborhood, and they would have shut that ish down. Y'all, there needs to be better alerts. Leaflets should have been handed out for that whole entire 5 mile, 10 mile, I don't give a area to let people know offenders, multiple offenders are going to be in their neighborhood. And it looked like this man was just released, got into the Spectrum program or whatever, to where he get housing and stuff, and did this. And decided, I am not getting locked back the heck up. I'm out. And left. And got away with this. So y'all, police, Buffalo, y'all look into that. Y'all look into that, okay? 5'7", around 5'7", under, gotta be under 5. 5'7" and under. Recently got out of prison around that time that Jaylen went. Recently got out of prison. That means he was out of prison no more than maybe a month tops, 2 months tops before he did this. Somebody that was recently, working with Spectrum to get housing, was recently assigned to that house, 107 house. And immediately after Jaylen's passing, left that house and had to seek another accommodations from somewhere else through Spectrum. Don't know if he went through Spectrum again. Did he? If he went through Spectrum, then hey, that's even an easier way. Did he use Spectrum again after that? Yeah, he did. So Spectrum had to relocate him again. He probably told him, this is not good accommodations. there's too many crazy people in the house. Da, 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 da. He must have made up something and immediately got a new set of place to live. Hmm. Okay. He lived somewhere else. And then eventually he is now out of state. So this man is no longer even in Buffalo, New York. So this is somebody who's like probably registered in Kansas at this point. Okay. This should be enough to give y'all something to go on. All right. Whew. Child.
We're going to continue doing that work.
Acting Erie County District Attorney Michael Kane says the medical examiner's office confirmed this is a homicide. He says he is waiting for an autopsy that will provide forensic evidence that will be helpful for this investigation. Now, investigators say they have been in touch with his family. The family says they are grateful.
That forensic evidence should be very key if, I don't know, when you're an offender and you have a prison record, I don't know. I think they do take DNA, don't they, from you? Do they take blood DNA and all that stuff from me? I don't know. And especially if this person, was serving time at one point. I don't know if they have his blood, if they have his DNA because of past sex offender issues or something like that. That would be excellent in helping to identify him. This would be excellent. You definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's too late to even take fingerprints or prints off of that attic. Oh, gosh. Because if they could take some prints and stuff, his prints are there.
That this chapter has ended, but it does open up another chapter. This is also yet another heartbreak for this family after Jaylen's mother died last fall, never knowing what happened to her son. We're live in downtown Buffalo tonight. Kristen Moore, 7 News.
Kristen, these are the stories we.
Another thing, last but not least, y'all pray for this family. Okay? Y'all pray for this family. My mom, is considered one of them prayer warrior kind of women. And I don't know. I just feel like, honestly, so much tragedy in that family. It just feels like a generational family curse to me. And I know there's a pastor involved in this. I think his name is Tim Newkirk, Pastor Newkirk. Pray for that family. Pray over that family. Ask that no more tragedy befall this family. Because think about it, Jaylen has passed in a very bad way. His brother was shot and killed. His mother has passed away, not knowing what happened to her son, or sons. Pray for that family and no more tragedy befall the family. Pray for their protection. Pray for positive energy to come through to this family. That's all I ask. Pastor Newkirk, pray for them. Break any generational curse and family curses placed on that family. That no more tragedy befall this family. Let this family have peace going forward in life. That's it. And I hope something, a little bit, anything that I said will help in the situation of finding this man. I literally want to throw up after just like, oh, I literally just want to throw up after all of this. I just really want to I'm gonna make me some tea. I'm really literally gonna like sage and clean myself. Just like, oh, thinking about these people in that house and their energy is just so off. Like mentally, it's just off. It's evil. It's off. It's all the. Father God, please just watch over me, please. Ooh. But I hope something that I said helps in the situation. Of things that they can look at, directions they can go into. So I hope so. Whew. On that note, I am gone.